With everyone escaping isolation and heading outdoors, there are a lot more cyclists out on the road now. So today, we are covering bike etiquette. For you newbies, this may be the first time you're hearing about it, but for those of you more experienced cyclists, this may be a well-needed refresher course. Welcome to Logging Miles with Run Project, where we talk about all kinds of training, tips, and tricks, and we answer your questions, the ones that you think about and the ones that you might be a little too embarrassed to ask. My name is Reynolds, but not that one, and I'm coming to you from Waco, Texas today. So let's start with some basic riding rules. The very first thing that you need to know is when you're riding, you should always be on the right and you pass on the left. So if you come up to someone who is going slower than you and you need to go around, you need to always make sure to let them know that you're doing this. So you could do it by ringing a bell or by simply saying on your left. It is very important that you always do this because I don't know if you've noticed, but most people can't read minds and they also don't have eyes in the back of their head. They don't know you're coming. So to avoid an accident, or at the very least, some very choice, unkind words that I will not say to you here, let people know that you're coming around on their left. Once you start feeling a little bit more comfortable and you're ready to get out on the road, the most important thing to remember is that you must obey the rules of the road, which means you follow the flow of traffic. You ride on the right side of the road, just like a car would. And whenever possible, make sure that you allow enough room for a car to go around you. I know that sometimes there's only enough room for you, but when the lane is wide enough, don't ride all the way over in the gutter, but don't hog the whole thing either. Next, let's talk about a couple of hand signals. These are super important to let other riders and cars around you know what the heck you're up to. One of the most important hand signals to give is directional, to let people know which way you're turning. So at the very least, just pick your hand up and point in the direction you're turning. However, the official way of signaling is to use your left hand and simply put it all the way out to the left if you're turning to the left, or if you're turning to the right, bring it up and put it at a right angle. The next signal that is super important that you need to learn is to show people that you are either coming to a stop or you are slowing down. This will help you avoid pileups and crashes, and it's incredibly important when you are riding in a group, especially with a lot of people. So, to let people know that you are slowing, you can simply put your hand behind your back with your palm open and your fingers out. Similarly, to let people know that you are stopping, you can put your hand behind your back in a fist. Lastly, when you are riding in a group and there are people behind you, you are blocking their vantage point. They may not be able to see that there are hazards coming up in the road, like cracks, like potholes. So when you see one, don't just veer around it. Make sure that you let the people behind you know that there are things on the road they need to avoid by pointing them out and by yelling out crack or pothole, whatever the thing is that they need to go around. Now, one last thing to think about when it comes to signals is that every group is going to be a little bit different. And for that matter, there are new riders that don't feel comfortable taking their hands off the handlebars yet, or they may not understand what the hand signals are. So it's also important to use that outside voice and yell out what's going on. So that wraps it up for bike etiquette, but let us know if you have any questions or if there's anything you'd like to add. You can send those here, or you can put them down in the comments below, or if you want to be featured here on Logging Miles, you can create a video, upload it to your Instagram, and tag us. Also, make sure that you start following us because we put out new videos every single Tuesday, and I will tell you, next week we are talking to Carlos the runner, and if you haven't checked out his Instagram, it is some of the coolest, funniest stuff I've seen. So go check him out, at Carlos the runner, and I will see you next Tuesday. With everyone skating.
So you put your helmet back together after you break it?
You should have shaved your legs.
You should have shaved your legs.
I did.
Okay.
I'm telling you.